The death of an Amherst girl remains an unsolved mystery tonight. Erie County's medical examiner and an outside pathologist have apparently reached different conclusions. News 4's Dr. Peter Ostro is a pathologist. Tonight he explains what an autopsy can tell us and what it can't.
Well, an autopsy is the best way and often the only way to discover how someone died. It really is the final diagnosis, but an autopsy doesn't always provide all the answers. The information we get depends on what we can see, and sometimes we don't see enough to reach a certain conclusion. When Bianca Cartagena died, authorities wanted to know how it happened, so a careful, complete autopsy was performed. The findings all pointed to asphyxia, meaning she was unable to breathe and died from lack of oxygen. But what caused the asphyxia? Blockage of the airways or compression of the chest are the usual causes, and those can happen either deliberately or as the result of an accident. Can an autopsy tell which it was? Sometimes it's easy. For instance, if a person is violently strangled, a delicate bone in the neck called the hyoid bone is usually fractured. But a careful search of the neck organs revealed no abnormalities. Another sign of foul play would be injuries caused by a struggle, but those also were not seen. So the evidence available did not favor either accident or foul play. And the conclusion was, because there's no test to distinguish which scenario led to this child's death, the manner of death is best certified as undetermined. That's a difficult situation for law enforcement authorities.
You can't go into court of law as a homicide prosecutor, or any prosecutor for that matter, and accuse somebody of a homicide unless you can prove it is indeed, in fact, with proof, a homicide.
The ME's conclusion of undetermined manner of death means it might be a homicide, but you can't prove it with the autopsy. Now, a pathologist from the Albany area has reviewed the autopsy, and we're told he's concluded it was a homicide. The Erie County ME, Dr. Vertus, has received his report and is in the process of reviewing his findings. Now, he might have noticed something that had been overlooked, or he might have just reinterpreted the findings in the context of the overall setting and reached an opinion that way without any new information. That still might not be proof, so we'll have to wait to hear how Dr. Vertus responds to the report before making up our own minds.
Thanks for that explanation. Thank you, Doctor.